7th, and I'd like to call the September meeting of the Economic Development Commission to order for the town of Woodbridge. We have minutes from the last meeting, from the September meeting. I guess it's September, it's October. In terms of the meeting, today's meeting, can we have a motion to approve the September?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from September's meeting.
Any second?
Second.
Anybody want to discuss? Okay, all in favor? Okay, it's unanimous. Moving on, I'd like to welcome Mr. Robert Pantarella.
Fantarella, very good.
Pantarella, okay.
That's great.
Of Elm City Trailer, to sit
Sure.
up here, and welcome to town.
Thank you. The last time I was in the seat, it wasn't that much fun.
Okay. Well, we'd actually like to hear about that, so we can ask you about that.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
Because we're the friendly commission, so we want to make sure.
I've gotten customers from this commission. I've gotten referrals. It's been great, you guys. I think it's awesome, and I'm happy to help if I can in any way. Yeah, it's gonna be
Well, we're here to help you.
No, I
What we want to
appreciate
do is ask you questions, because our meetings are broadcast and people in the community watch our meetings, and so we like to feature a business each month,
awesome.
so that you can communicate to the town how you ended up here and why you're here and what you sell and all the
Terrific.
rest.
Yeah, I can give you a little, we moved into 240 Amity Road, which is, I'm sure everybody knows the building. It was vacant for quite some time. So we're trailer sales, parts, and service. I've been in the business. I was the general manager at another facility for 7 years and went on my own about 4.5 years ago. We started in New Haven. I had a partner that passed away suddenly at 46 years old, and yeah, it was bad. So it was where we were, it was just a tough building because it was family. So as soon as he passed, it got, as soon as someone dies, it's just, gets a little sketchy in the money department. Anyway, we were asked to move, so we had to get out of there. And,
Where was that? Where was that?
We're right off Forbes Avenue, New Haven.
Okay.
Almost under the Q Bridge.
And what's it called, Elm City?
Elm City Trailer. That's how we started Elm City, was in New Haven. That's how we got the name. So, so we were there for 3 years. I moved to Orange briefly for a year, but I just couldn't find a good spot. And the place I was at was just, it was very temporary. I mean, I would have, if I could have bought it, I would have stayed. But so the building came up here, and actually, it's funny how it happened, because I tried to get into this building when we were moving out of New Haven, and the previous owner had it, and the numbers just were never going to work. And so that year cost me a lot to move twice in a year, but I think the end result was what I was looking for. The place, we're happy to be here. I mean, I ran a business in Woodbridge for 20 years on Research Drive. My brother has a printing company down there called Classic Label, and I own a company called Hot Rock Productions as well. So.
Thank you. It was driving me nuts. I knew we met before. I'm like, where have we met before?
Yeah. Well, I've been doing weddings and whatnot in this area I went to Amity. I grew up in Orange, so I've been living in Orange, Woodbridge, and Bethany most of my life. We're happy to be here anyway. So I was in the town and I knew a lot of people, and the location was going to be great for us. I really didn't want to be on Route 1. It's really too busy for us. Half of our customers are going to try to avoid it. So anyway, what we do is everything to do with trailers except tractor trailers. So landscape trailers, equipment, homeowner stuff, a boat trailer, a motorcycle, a car, trailers for, like we deal with a lot of homeowners in town, local. We deal with the municipals, so municipalities, we've already sold. Woodbridge had bought from us years ago. They buy plow parts from us, parts for their trailers. So we're good. We help the town a lot. We deal with a ton of towns in Connecticut. And we also work other states, which is kind of nice. I was explaining the other day, we had, I get a lot of guys coming from out of state. I sell a few brands of trailers that not a lot of people in New England can get. And they're kind of a high end and kind of an offset trailer. It's like being the only Mercedes dealer, and somebody wants a Mercedes, they're gonna go there. So we sell, like this week, yesterday I had a guy from Long Island, Monday I had a guy from Boston. which is good.
And what do they use those trailers?
They're buying for, like, these guys were both race car guys, hobby car guys. They race, somebody goes boating, somebody plays softball. These guys race cars on the weekends. So they go to Lime Rock, they go to a lot of the local places in Watkins Glen, New York, and so it's good because they come down and a lot of times they want to wait. So I'm sending them to local businesses. I mean, I dealt with all the restaurants around me and I got cards and I'm like, you guys, I'm a network freak. So I send everybody locally I can, so, Saloon, Antonio's, Woodbridge Social, the Old Gathering just reopened. We sent 3 guys down there for lunch today. Anywhere we can in town, so it's good. They get gas, they go shopping, whatever. If I can get them, then I go to Katz's. I mean, anywhere I can get. There's enough places within a quarter mile of me that they're happy. So, and we do other stuff as far, homeowners. We do hitches and we do lights. So if somebody has tows something, their boat or whatnot, and if they need a hitch or they need a repair, brake controls, anything to do with towing. And then we also do some truck stuff like. We don't do truck repair, but we sell some truck accessories. So a lot of these local guys they want extra lights or things like that. So, I can't tell you how many guys. I got some retired guys in town that, I'm fixing their wheelbarrows. And I don't mind, you know what I mean? They come in, I got a couple older guys that are they're like, would you help us out? And we're like, absolutely. So I just, it's good. I'm happy to see a lot of the guys I hadn't seen in a long time. So it's good. And a lot of guys I used to see years ago. Some retired guys from the town come in. And so it's been good. We've been busy, we're going into our slow season, but we're crazy right now because we're trying to get get the building done before we go in.
So did you buy the property?
We leased it with the option.
Okay.
So,
actually, isn't there a ground lease? You actually leased it with an option to purchase the entire property?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, I was kind of, I didn't want to move again. It's not fun. It costs me a ton of money. I'm tired. My kids hate me for it. You know what I mean? So, my son is 21. He graduated from a small ag school up in New York, Cobleskill, and he's went for diesel technology and agricultural engineering. So he runs the shop. My daughter runs the office and does all our finance because we'll do financing for people, and so it's good. And it's definitely what the epitome of the family business, So, I can just beat my kids on a regular basis. So it's fun.
So you only sell, you don't lease anything?
No. We've contemplated renting. I've got a lot of people in town. It's funny, locals coming in. Can I rent a trailer just for the day? And so we've been talking about it. I think after maybe in another year we will. Cost effective. It's not business wise. It's not great. The one nice thing about it is, like, let's say somebody wanted to buy something. They wanted to try it before they bought it. I'm thinking about buying a little dump trailer to clean the yard with, or go to the like a hobby, or then you can let them try it. But insurance is crazy, and it's tough to. You can't pick who you rent to, and sometimes you just know by talking to somebody that it's never going to come back the same way it left. And people abuse it, and it's
right.
Sometimes it just turns into more. And I did it for 10 years at another place I ran. So, it's like for every 9 great instances you have that one that just makes you want to cringe, and it costs you more than it was when you're ever going to.
The other 9 properties.
Right, exactly. But as far as even like homeowner plows, we've done some. It's already, it's warm enough, but we've been selling plows already.
So you sell snow plows as well?
Yeah, snow plows and pushers. So we do everything from like the small homeowner to the bigger commercial guy. So we can help the town, we can help the state, we can help, the homeowners, like guys, we just put a plow on a Jeep, small, guy just getting older, and he's like, I don't want to shovel my driveway anymore, and I don't want to pay anybody, so he's going to plow himself. So we do a lot of that. It's definitely part of the business I'm not a big fan of for us, Plow business is just a cutthroat business, but it's not a fun business. They need you when they need you, and the rest of the year it's not much fun, so you're never going to rely on it. But the trailers are a big thing, So, and again, service, we do a ton of service, and we do fabricating a little bit, so that's like, hence the guy coming with the wheelbarrow, and then his neighbor comes in, and he sends his neighbor down. We welded his axle. One of the cops came in, we fixed his dad. He sent his dad in, and he had a problem. He backed into a pole, so we helped him out. So, we'll help. We'll pretty much, we'll do just about anything we need to do. We're not going to advertise that stuff, but the locals come in, so it's great. We're happy. you know, so yeah, everything is, we're pumped. We just want to get the building finished and painted. We just changed one of the doors out, and you know, the building should be painted by the next week. We're doing it barn red and white, just in case anyone wants to know.
Not only the building, but the landscaping looks great too.
Thank you. Well, I did all the plants, and now we're gonna gut all it, and we're gonna sod it and just put grass in, because it's just horrible. So we're gonna put grass in. I just gotta wait, because that was something I wasn't gonna fight with over the summer. We're so slammed, you know. So it's like we moved in April, May, and June are our 3 busiest months, and we moved in right in the, like, you know, one of the guys came down, one of the town guys, I won't mention, came down like 2 weeks after we moved in, and I'm like, you gotta give me just a little time. I'm like, I'm trying as hard as I can. I mean, I'm there 15 hours a day easy, and I'm like, I'm not, you know, I'm not dogging, you know, but, you know, they had asked me if anybody was gonna, you know, they don't want anybody unloading anything in the road for traffic. I said, certainly, I'm all about safety. I don't want anybody to get hit. I don't want my product to get wrecked. I don't want anybody to get hurt.
Right.
So we weren't even there a week, and a guy stopped in front of the, you know, he just pulled over on the side of the road. I didn't even see him. So of course, just that instant, somebody drives by the town, gets out, starts taking pictures. I'm laughing. I was like, I was like, I'm like, I don't know what to tell. I'm sorry. I've been telling you, pull in the driveway, you know. But
Right.
as we get it more organized, you know, we still have a little bit of construction to do in the back of the building, but you know, we just took a bunch of trees down. The guy next door to me is Serve Pro. He's great, and him and I said, you want to clean up the sides, and it was between our properties, and he was like all for it. So we just had another tree guy come in and straighten everything out, and you know, things are going to be falling on people's buildings. You know, I took 3 massive trees off the roof when we got there. So,
Wow. How long is your lease?
Well, we have
Without the option.
we kind of worded it kind of funny. I mean, we're in there. We have a 3-year where we are now with,
Okay.
you know, it's kind of a touchy thing, because it's really in a trust for Mrs. Sankola, who's the older woman, and
Right.
when she passes, which, you know, she's 92, and it takes care of her right now, which is what is great.
Okay.
So, and the attorneys, everybody's on the same page. So
Got it.
we're not going anywhere. They're happy. They're so excited. They keep you know, they call, they stop by, they're excited. They never had anybody, you know, I deliver a check, but they've never gotten paid on time, and I guess they've had a lot of issues, but so far it's been great for us. You know, we're gonna get the building painted, we'll get the driveway cleaned up, and you know, once we get the construction done and back, we'll be able to move everything back a little bit more, because the town didn't want anything parked on the street. They, you know, which we made the parking lot, you know, we put the customer parking in the front. So, but yeah, I don't know if anybody's complaining about me yet or not, but I'm hoping nobody has any problems with the town-wise. But you know, I mean, like I said, I've gotten more. I mean, for the, as I was saying, I never let one bad apple spoil the whole thing. I've had so many people come in and be happy about the plants and happy about this and clean, and you know, I've had some older woman pulled in last week. I was about 6 in the morning. I was picking up garbage. She's like, I never see anybody pick up the garbage. She just pulled over to tell me that. Was very nice for me to pick up the garbage. So I was ecstatic. So it was good. But yeah. Anyway, so does anybody have any questions about the business, or?
Geographically, there's no one nearby who sells trailers aside from, I mean.
Well, you can go to Lowe's or
Aside from
Tractor
yourself.
Supply, very limited, and they can't do anything over a certain weight class. And we do registration on site, so that is great. People will pay me extra. They love me when I tell them that we can only register personal. We can't do commercial. The state doesn't allow it for some reason. They haven't figured out why yet. But other than that, there's probably 6 dealers in the state. You know, Northford is the place I used to work. There's one up near Saybrook, Old Saybrook. Really deals with the shore area more. There's one in Farmington. There's one up in kind of north of Hartford. I forget the town. And there's one off Route 8. But I mean, there's none right around here. I mean, Tractor Supply, you know, people, you know, every once in a while, like, they come into play, but not a lot. Because if you go there, you have to pay for the trailer, then you have to take your paperwork, go to DMV, register it, then you have to go back, and if they, you know, it's like we always say, there's nobody to help them, you know, if they have the wrong drop or ball, or if they don't know what they need, you know, they got the kid that's pushing carriages, and we go, and we're full service. People pull in, we're just like, relax, we'll show you, we'll teach you, we'll do everything you need to do, and, you know, and we're full service, so it's easy, you know, so it makes the purchase, or the whole process a lot easier and less painful, especially if you don't have to go spend half a day in DMV, you know. But yeah, we're pretty psyched about that. I mean, the only, you know, the downfall is obviously you can't drive a trailer on the Merritt Parkway. People always say that to me, but at the end of the day, we got the whole Litchfield County corridor comes down this way constantly, you know, and it's Route 8 to 67 to 63 is a great, you know, we're not busy enough that we mess up traffic, but it's great that we get those extra people in, you know. And you can go, you know, people can go, you know, we get a lot of people coming to Hartford, they come right through New Haven, they just come right up Whaley, you know, and some people will come down 69, I guess, from 84, you know, so, you know, I mean, it's funny, we've got a huge mix of people, but mostly local, and people you just, you know, customers that are, you know, it's like I mean, we're on the radio, we do, you know, I do a lot of radio, because that was my thing, so we've done a little bit of print ad, I'm just starting to do the local stuff, you know, we pick up, actually I haven't hit Woodbridge yet, Orange just hit me up, so we'll do the local papers and whatever I can do to spread the wealth here, you know.
Well, yeah, it's nice that you're, you know, when people come down, they spend the time there, you know, purchasing from you, you're sharing it with the community by sending them to lunch nearby, and, because it makes sense if they're gonna come down all the way from Boston or from New York to buy a trailer, and it takes a couple hours to get everything all set up. It's a lot easier for them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a network maniac. I mean, that's what I do. I'm all about it. But I mean, it's great, and there's enough stuff around here, and people can, you know, they can relax, and people are happy. They come down and if I'm working on a guy's car to fix his hitch, you know, his daughter's going to college and she's taking a little trailer, and he's like, we can't come with two cars, and I give him a car, and I'm like, I send him on the road to go have lunch here, you know, so they're happy. Everybody, you know, it's great. So anything we can do like that, yeah, we're, like I said, we're all about the convenient, you know what I mean? So, and if I can, you know, and it's everybody comes back. You know, the guy from Saloon, or he had a mobile catering, he has a couple other places, and he had a catering trailer, and he's like, can you fix it? Sure. So it's like, I don't have anything to tow it with. I'll go get it. No problem. Whatever it takes, it's fine. So, anyway.
We're all about networking too.
Yeah.
So let me introduce you to Kate Brown, who is your neighbor. She's at 276?
245. So
I get that
across
wrong
the
every
street.
time. 245?
In Saloon's building.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
what,
from a business standpoint, I'm thrilled to have you. I love seeing that property cleaned up and busy and
Oh, great.
activity.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sure you saw some activity before, but not the one you wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been such an eyesore for so long. It's
Right.
really nice to see.
Thanks. Yeah. No, if anything I can do, you know, I'm trying to make it,
Well,
you know.
So Kate runs the Fallapalooza, Woodbridge Fallapalooza. I don't know if you've seen any of the signs.
I have. Yep.
So I don't know, I mean, it's kind of last minute, but it's running all through October. And businesses have created like little events. I don't know if you want to like you have your grand opening, and we can promote it for you
Oh, okay.
on our website. Because if you look at the signage for the Woodbridge Fallapalooza, it's really just a link to a page on the Woodbridge Town website, which lists all of the events. So we're still able to add, right, more events.
Yeah, I was reading a few of them. No, it was good. I mean, I've been seeing it online and whatnot, so that's neat. Yeah.
So if you think of anything, then
Okay.
be in touch with us.
I will. Yeah, if I,
Yeah,
you know, it's like,
It's a little last minute.
yeah, timing is tough right now for us,
You know, yeah, so.
but
But
no,
next year.
absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm glad. Yeah.
And there are two things coming up at the end of the month at Saloon. Actually, there's a costume party the last Saturday, and the Salon Progressions that's in the same building
Oh, okay.
is doing their big event the
Oh,
last
okay.
Saturday of the month. So you'll see activity if you want to get involved in any way on that
Okay.
Saturday.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're both doing fundraisers.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
wander
I mean,
over.
Yeah, and if I, you know what, and if I can help you with anything with that, like, we're all tractor guys. I have a little hobby farm in Orange, so we do a lot of hay rides. So if you want
Wow.
a tractor and a hay wagon for any of the
Okay.
things, let me know. I'll bring a tractor and a wagon. I'll throw some hay bales. Kids love it. Adults love it. You know what I mean? You go, you know,
Great.
we do a few schools and stuff like that.
Great.
And then we usually charge, but we won't charge it.
No, we
We won't charge it, so that's fine. No, it's actually, it's always, and it's great at this time of year, you know. It
Yeah,
just goes-
absolutely.
It goes nice, you know, so.
I can think definitely next year, maybe we'll put them up with Masara,
Yeah.
because that would be a nice.
No,
And I
okay.
think, in fact, the Willows, which is diagonally across from you,
Yeah,
they're doing a harvest festival on the 21st, and I think they may be doing something similar.
Oh,
They were
neat.
trying to
Okay.
do, so
okay.
maybe we can figure
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
out
Willows,
together.
yeah, that's the,
Right across the street.
yeah, the yellow building. Yeah, no, I used to do some work there and in the entertainment business, and mostly for meetings and whatnot, but, yeah. Good deal.
So, tell us what was difficult about dealing with the town? Because you sort of alluded to that when you walked in.
I don't know what this is all, I mean, this is all.
It's public, so watch your language.
I can stop swearing.
But we're really just looking for constructive criticism, if you have, like, how can we would like to be able to help businesses as they come in to streamline the process.
I mean,
What suggestions would you have?
you guys are great, and not everybody's very welcoming, and it's like everything. It's, you know, I grew up around here. I've had a business in this town for 20 years. I know everybody around here. You know, it's like, and I'm a part of the community. It's not like I just come in to make money and leave. You know, I spend my money here. The whole Orange Woodbridge Bethany deal. I was basically told they just, you know, don't want me here. I mean, it was that simple. I'm not going to sit here and say who, but it's like they just, look, we don't want a trailer guy. We don't want a blue collar guy. We just don't want you here. And it's like, it's pretty discerning. I mean, it was not, I was like, you know, here I was looking at the building that's been vacant for 7 years, like I thought somebody may be ecstatic. Now, don't get me wrong, not everybody was there. There was a, I can't remember her name, one woman on the board, she was great. She was like, she was very happy, you know, and I said, I'm not even, you know, I mean, I can understand you don't want to see a business come in and fail. But I'm like, I'm not new. I've been in business. I already know what I'm doing. I already, you know, I mean, I'm not that new. I mean, I'm not that, it's not, you know, we're not a 20-year-old business, obviously, 4.5 years. But I said, I've been doing it for almost 15 years. I know, you know, it's whatever. I'm confident. But it was like, it was kind of a bummer hearing about how they're just looking at you. And then I had a couple of town people come in and basically say, you know, why would they let you in here? And it's like, so that's kind of a, you know. And,
what's so frustrating is it hasn't changed. I mean, it happened to us 27 years ago when we moved to town.
Really?
Manufacturer. I mean, same, but I think almost worse. And that's so frustrating to hear that in 27 years it hasn't gotten any better.
Right.
Because we got a lot of resistance when we moved to town as well.
Right.
And it's just so frustrating.
Wow.
And here we are.
Did you have to apply for any zoning issues?
Well, yeah,
Zoning
see, that was
issues
here's what happened. That building started in 1970. It was a used car business.
Okay.
And then in 1971, it became a new car business.
Mhm.
And then it went back to used. The quick deal with company, with this, there's no difference between cars and trailers as far as the state goes. There's 3 licenses. You have a new car, you're a new dealer, a used dealer, or a repair. Okay, like Amity Motors down the road, they're a repair, you know, and they may be new and they may be used in repair, but I'm new. So, you know, moving a dealer license is way harder than moving any other business because you have to go to this state. It's like you guys going to DMV for a car. I have to go to Weathersfield, and it's nobody there cares either. It's going to be days, and it's difficult. So when you go to move, I'm moving into a building that's already been a dealership. The state is so much easier on you because it's already been established as a dealership. If it's not, the inspections are rigorous. You know, I have to do a lot. There's a lot of hoops to jump through. So moving into that building, I thought it was going to be great. And the town attorney wrote a 7-page letter saying how now you got to have a public hearing. You got to do this. You know, motor vehicle. I have all the paperwork. Well, no, his biggest thing was, cars are driven self-propelled and trailers are towed, and they're not the same license, and they may be the same in the States, but not in the eyes of the town. And so, however much he had to do to deal with that was probably not necessary at all. The 3 meetings they made me hire they wanted me to get new drawings. I took the town drawings that were already on file, and I just wrote a couple things on them, and it's not like I did it with crayons, you know, but there wasn't a lot of changes to the place. I did that. I came and presented what I was going to do, so they made me bring in a lawyer. They made me go get different artwork. They basically made me spend thousands of dollars, and nothing changed, for absolutely nothing. You know, so it was like, are you kidding? And it was like, in nothing, and everything ended up in the last meeting was a public hearing. There was about 50-something people here, and not one person was here against me, everybody was for, which was nice. I mean, the
And
first,
did you get people out, or people just heard about it?
some,
Okay.
you know, I know a lot of people, and a lot of people were, yeah, I'm just,
Okay.
But it shouldn't take that. It shouldn't take such
No,
an
it
effort. I
shouldn't.
mean, we should welcome people. who
Right.
wanna
We
move
should,
to our
like, if we can
community.
get a heads up from the brokers, we should be the welcoming committee.
right.
Helping to.
Well,
show
you, I mean, you guys, I mean,
So,
I got
we
two
should-
guys in here that would first come in that was awesome, you know, I got people that stopped in, it was great. So like, kind of like the one bad apple, but that one bad apple with the town, boy, you know, to spend thousands of dollars, I mean, for what? For absolutely, you know, for nothing. And it was, and it all ended up right back to where I said it was. And the,
How
even
many
the,
businesses are we scaring away? You know, you,
Right.
you
well,
stuck it out.
I will tell you this, a lot. I will tell you, you know how many people, when I told them I was moving to Woodbridge, people were like, oh, you're nuts. People are like, oh, you don't want to go there. They're never going to let you in there, especially you. If you look in the mirror, like, I laugh, and I said, I mean, the town has a tough reputation. And I wasn't a builder, but I worked for builders years ago. And it's, you know, even that, like, guys like, oh, we won't go to
But you had a
Woodbridge.
business in town, you knew the town, and that's what's so frustrating,
Right.
is that, you know, thank you for putting up with it. You know?
No,
I mean,
I'm not easily scared off, you know, but I mean, it was like, you know, and the excuses I got were pretty bad, you know. They were hoping to take, you know, somebody told me they were hoping to take the property by eminent domain if they hadn't paid taxes. I said, and we're gonna build a building and, you know, kind of like across the street where you are, and maybe put apartments upstairs and put boutiques in the van. I go, well, who's gonna pay for that? And they're like, well, we haven't figured that out yet. And I'm like, like, I got $41,000 in back taxes paid. I came in there in a week, I took 9 dumpsters out, 7 triaxles worth of junk, cut down 100 trees that were hanging on a building. I said, that's what I told the guy, I go, simple thank you would have been fine, but I was like, you know, it's, you know, just for you guys, for what you're saying, you guys are great, and the whole concept is awesome. I think it's great. That's why I came. You guys asked me, I'm like, are you kidding me? I got an email. I'm like, I'm in. I'd love to. You know, I mean, people want to network and actually help each other. This is wow, what a concept. You know, but I mean, the town was just not that. You know, they were just not having it. You know, and I can't say who, you know, exactly, but I mean, you know, you guys probably have a good idea of who, and you know, and it's just unfortunate. You know, it's you know, and you know. You flex your muscles for certain things, you know what I mean? Usually like when you get shoved or pushed, you know, but not to, you know, it's like the whole bully syndrome kind of thing. And I crack up and I'm like, listen, you know, I know where I want to be. You know what I mean? It was a perfect opportunity. I wasn't going to walk away, you know, so, but it would be, I mean, there's certainly people that would more people come to this town if they could, you know. Hey, it's convenient. It's got a great location. You know what I mean? There's plenty to do, and, you know, you could definitely grow the tax base a little more. Jeez, what a concept.
That's our goal.
Yeah.
That's our mission.
What a great thing. Jeez, let's not keep going up on the taxes. Let's bring a few people in here, and yeah, that's all good. That's what I thought, so.
Well,
yeah.
thank you for welcome to Woodbridge.
Thank you.
We hope that it goes smoothly from here. Certainly, we're here to network. We'll make sure Tony will have your information. She'll put you on the list. So anytime we're doing any networking events, we will certainly include you guys. And I know it's a little bit late for the Fall Palooza this year, but if you can think of something you want to put down on the list, we'd be happy to promote it. But
Sure.
next year, it sounds like you have some really great
Thank you.
ideas.
Yeah, and I'm certainly happy to help. And yeah, we used to do a lot of the mazes in Orange, like over by Treats Farm. They do those corn maze and stuff like that. It's fun. It's just, but that's a good, you know, anyway. Well, thank you guys very much for having me, and I appreciate you letting me ramble.
Thank you.
So, and if any of you guys want to stop in, we're going to do we did a grand opening for, mostly for customers, but we're going to probably do something this spring for the town.
Let us
You know.
know, and then we'll also make sure that gets on our.
Yeah, well, you know, local guys come in and cater it and whatever, and we'll do some, you know, last time I had a guy from Orange come in with a pizza wagon, and we just, you know, it's kind of neat, it was fun, so. Yeah, thank you very much, you guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye-bye.
I just want to say that having a diverse business like this in town is absolutely amazing. I mean, we have everything from technology companies to research and development to financial services. It shows that we can do other things. So having a business like this right on Amy Road, I think it's a great thing. So it's, yeah. I as Jamie said, frustrated the fact that it was difficult for him to come in.
Yeah.
And that's something that, for me, is
And it was a durable building. I mean, it was just such a
Yeah.
mess. We have somebody.
the improvements that he's done already are night and day, and he's still doing them. I mean, it's
What is the first step of the process where he would have been in contact with people at the town? I mean, right now we're dealing with him after he's already been here, and he said when he was looking at coming in, he couldn't
Right,
get
right.
welcoming
Right,
hands.
it was probably he had to go to
So,
zoning, because, well, he had to get permits, and Ames had to go straight to the Board of Selectmen. Because it sounds like they were objecting to, no?
Not first.
Not first?
Zoning would be,
Okay, zoning.
In terms of.
But not zoning board of appeals, CP&Z?
No, right,
Okay.
right.
I mean, is it possible that we can get involved in finding out who's putting in permits so that we can champion new businesses
Yeah.
as they hit zone? I mean,
We had been doing that for a little bit in terms, but we actually, it had been when they were already established, like new
Right.
businesses. But
Right.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, 'cause if
Yeah, we
he's
can
saying
welcome
that
them
people
all
are
over.
getting scared away when they come in the door, then
Yeah.
clearly we've got to
Yeah.
get in front of the door.
We're
Yes.
talking more at the application level where
Yeah.
somebody's interested.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and this is the second business that I know of recently that went through this with the gas station.
Yeah.
Right.
Went through hula hoops.
But like you said,
Yeah.
even if they know that someone's cheering
Well,
them on.
great job.
Yeah, and they clean it well.
Cleaned that whole area.
I mean, I think that the catch is that, I mean, if there's,
Traffic still the
like,
same as it was.
going to zoning could be like dealing with the DMV, everybody knows it's gonna be tough, but at least if they've got a cheerleader on their side,
Yes.
knowing an economic
Yeah.
development's trying to help, at least they would get encouraged.
I agree. So, Tony, is it possible to put a line item on the agenda so we get so you just copy whatever is coming up before TP&Z and put it on our agenda? Just so we can discuss, we can go through the list?
When people are applying.
Yeah, it has to be, they end up getting noticed, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
So-
I don't know. So,
Just commercial, not.
so do you want to know what the TPZ meetings are to look at the agenda, you mean, or?
So you might be good, if I may suggest.
Yeah, sure.
It might be good for you to reach across the street, reach across to the chairman of TPZ, ask the process and
Yeah,
and
okay.
determine exactly
Yeah, okay.
where where it's best to.
But I
I
mean-
wonder too, if with the new business manual that we're talking about developing, or
Right.
if there's a way as part of that process, we can suggest they reach out to us first to help even, because I know I personally had an experience with zoning office.
Mhm.
Because I don't know if you know, but I have horses. When I
Yeah.
came back to town after not being here for a number of years, was told right to my face, "We're not Bethany. We don't want horses." Right to my, and had I not had experience with Woodbridge before, I'd have walked away.
Wow.
So it happens a lot more often than probably we'd like to hear. So perhaps if part of that manual says, if you need help, we
Right.
can be a resource or whatever. Because I'd be more than happy to do
And
that.
so if that's the issue, is one thing said, but, going by the book, following the rules is fine, but what we heard is that, Bobby followed the rules, but he still had a lot of resistance. You follow the rules, you got resistance. We moved here, we follow the rules, we shouldn't have that resistance.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with following the rules. We should be supporting our businesses to
Yes.
follow the rules, help them through the
Right,
process,
right.
not discourage them through the process. And that's what I'm hearing, is we're discouraging people through the
Right,
process, which is just not what we should be doing.
So,
And if the community wants to have a discussion about what our goals are as a community for what kind of businesses we want here, maybe we need to have that. But if not, then we shouldn't.
we
be
just
resisting-
had, we
with
actually,
TP&Z, and
we
there's
just had it
plenty of
with the
opportunity.
plan of
Yeah,
conservation.
but then we
development.
shouldn't be resisting it on principle, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Certainly something that clearly was as of right, and they sort of were putting roadblocks in.
Did all of this kind of negativity did come after he had rented the place, or before, when he's contemplating renting it, or after?
During the process of
During
trying
the
to.
process, when he already identified the place. I
But
mean,
he
that's
hadn't,
another-
entered into the contract yet.
Well, he probably had a conditional contract.
Yeah, I'm sure he had a lease signed pending approval by TPC.
Right,
Right, right.
Right. But I mean, it's,
The landlord obviously wanted him there.
yeah, sure, and he wanted to be there, but it's like, and it's pretty effective if they're going after them even before they've committed, because once they're committed, they're gonna wanna be there and do their business, and so.
Yeah.
And again, a known commodity, somebody who's known throughout the region, and I completely forgotten about his, Hot Rock and.
What was Hot Rock?
He was a DJ, and he had a building, office over Research Drive.
And his brother still has the building across from me, that label company.
Yeah, classic label.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, I
It's
mean,
pristine, it's always
it's
pristine.
absolutely, land's everything. I mean,
Right.
Absolutely.
they're true business people. I mean, they understand what to do, and they understand how to grow a business. And for the town to put roadblocks in, for somebody who's gonna come in, and just the improvements that's been done already are amazing. And he's right, they're painting it right now, they're scraping the building today. They put two brand new garage doors. I mean, they're making it look like an attractive place. So what if they sell trailers? Yeah, it makes no difference.
I don't get, I mean, the alternative is to
A derelict building.
Well, and
Look
actually,
like a
and actually,
junkyard.
doesn't the town tax the trailers? 'Cause,
with
right?
not paying
Isn't that
taxes.
part of the property
There's
tax?
the same,
There's
it's
property
very
taxes.
similar to what it would be for a dealership.
Car
Yeah,
dealership.
yeah.
It's a car dealership, exactly.
So it's not just the real estate taxes, he's paying property tax on those.
Well,
Okay,
happy
so-
It might help them, and I'll offer to see if there's anything you can find out to help if there's some other issue that makes this occur or something along those lines at the town hall level,
Sure,
and
that'd
see
be
what I can
great.
find out and see, and report back to you folks along those lines, but
That would-
needless to say, I very much agree with what everybody's saying, we should not be making it difficult, so.
So Tony, let's put an agenda item on. I will talk to Jeff Kaufman, who's head of TP&Z, and then we'll revisit it and see. I think we will need to eventually have some sort of list so we can know what businesses are coming in town, if that's the only way we can get it. Well, I'll figure it out with Jeff, but just put the line item and we'll make sure to address it at our November meeting. But that was really, thank you for arranging that. That was really actually great on many levels.
The other, I'm sorry, Jody, just to, flip coin to them,
I know you have to leave.
No, just
Okay.
in terms of the whole topic, obviously there are some guidelines that people on TPZ and Board of Selectmen and others want to make sure they adhere to. Like we said, that gas station is, in my opinion, beautiful. The egress, entrance egress, everything works out well, it looks wonderful coming off the highway. Everything that he's doing is exactly what the town would want. Not everybody does that.
Right.
So I think it
Understandable.
is obviously the commissions and the people who are want to make sure that whoever is going to come in will do that type of thing. So, it's unfortunate that it gets to this point, and maybe we can see what we can find out about it.
Fortunately, he has a good attitude, so.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a great attitude. I'm going to stop.
I don't need a trailer, but I'm any event, moving along. I want to talk about Fall Palooza. I know Mika needs to leave, so I want to, if we can make a motion to move the tax incremental financing up from item 12 to discuss it now. Can someone make that motion?
I'll make a motion to
And
move
can I have a
out to-
second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, looks unanimous. So I just wanted, while you're still here, so this is something I had found out about at the state annual economic development conference, which Dan Lloyd spoke at, where I had met someone who mentioned tax incremental financing, just sort of as an aside, and Ellen Scaltron sent me up there. I finally, I found an article, I will circulate it to everybody here. Tony, you have, I CC'd you on the email to Tony, no, maybe I didn't because I sent it to Tony. I will send it to you. I'll make sure it gets to everybody. Tony Genovese is now very interested in this concept. And what it is that you take any improvements to a property and the incremental amount of the improvements, that tax, or a portion of that tax can be put in a lockbox to use for improvements. And so I sort of pitched it to Tony based upon the fact that we were pretty sure that steep funding is going to dry up, and there are certain things that we need to do, like signage, like sidewalks, like, really essentials to be able to develop other properties. So this would be a mechanism as someone comes in, let's say a Jim Urbano comes in and develops 18 Hazel Terrace. If we can take a portion of that increased tax revenue from a undeveloped property to what would be a full 7 units, then we can have some money to do what we need to do. So I just wanted you Mika, before you left, I wanted you to know about it, because it's floating around town now.
Thank you. I plan to meet with Tony next week or so,
Yeah,
learn more about it. And
So Tony, I'm waiting to hear back from him about a scheduled meeting, what his schedule permit. But it's something that we should pursue. I'm not sure how the Economic Development Commission will be involved, and when it will get to Board of Selectmen. But stay tuned, because I think it's an important thing, and it'll allow us really to shape the future of the town a bit, because we'll have some money to do what we need to do. And then we can get the wonderful signage program that you have worked on so diligently. We can hopefully get that executed and put up. So thank you for motioning that. Moving on, do you want to bring us up to date on Fall Palooza?
Yeah, so we are, full swing in the middle of Fall Palooza, about halfway through. And what we have coming up this weekend, the Woodbridge, and you can see obviously, but for those watching, Woodbridge Animal Control is having their pet costume at Blue Check Deli from 10 till noon on Saturday. It's the first, hopefully, of many to follow. The same day from 12 to 5 is Massaro Farm Family Fun Day. The rain day, in case it rains on Saturday, is the next day, Sunday. Also this weekend, Darling House is having their open house and hearth cooking and a hike. The JCC is doing My Mother's Kitchen at the Woodbridge Town Library, and that's all happening this weekend, so lots of activities going on. The fall fashion show for Coachman Square has been canceled for next week, unfortunately. The JCC had expressed interest in doing that this year, and I think perhaps next year we'll throw it to them. Sort of dropped the ball on that. Unfortunately, we had a really nice turnout last year, and I would have liked to have seen it run, but unfortunately it's not. And then, as you can see, other things happening. We've been keeping the Facebook page updated. Jamie's Scarecrow was highlighted today.
Yes, so very
nice job, Jamie. So fun things happening, and fun that there are new things going on. Tony worked on, and Sheila, this is the sample that was sent out in the town email that went to all businesses in case they wanted to do any sort of Fall Palooza special.
Okay.
Aimed really at retail and restaurants. As an example, if someone did a buy one, get one free or something along those lines. So this is the template that went to everyone to try to tie it together and use the same font and our little scarecrow.
That's fine.
The library did the scarecrow build, and there were, I think, 6 or 7 businesses in town that adopted scarecrows. So if you go by Antonio's, you'll see one out in front. There's one at Tony's husband's shop over in Selden Plaza. There's one in our shop in front of the right approach. That's kind of fun to see. If you all haven't had a chance or don't have any occasion to go through the town of Seymour, I would suggest doing that, because they have done a phenomenal job of putting scarecrows out.
Really?
And I think
To the Main Street area?
yeah, it's great, right through Main Street, the center of town, the post office, it really
Do you know
looks
how long they'll be
wonderful.
up for? Yeah.
They've been up since the first of the month, so I'm assuming the month.
Okay.
They do a nice job. I think there are some things we can learn from. I think one of the things we're having trouble with is getting buy-in, getting people to grab onto this and participate, and a lot of the different events. And I think just spreading the word and finding ways that we can get people in each of the different sections of town involved. The challenge that we face, which we talk about all the time, is not having a downtown area. Doing some of the things that maybe with the incremental tax increase will help, and the wayfinding signs will certainly help define our area. So that is a challenge that we face for now. But if you have a chance to go through, it's certainly worth seeing some of the things that they've done, and maybe we can find ways to replicate it here.
Tony, can you send the template out to all of us? Because I know there was a business that I wanted to use a template, and I was too late, and I didn't know it existed. So if we all have it in our email, then if we walk into a business, we can say, oh, are you doing any promotions? Maybe you want to use this and just forward it to them. So that would be great. Thank you. Thank you for that update, and thank you for all the work. The signage is great.
It's nice.
The signage is really great. Why it's not on every corner? Like I don't see it. There's not one on Rimmon and in
I think we had
Ansonia.
6,
Yeah,
right?
there were 6.
Okay.
6.
Because there's 2 other signs there, but there's not a full. I just noticed it's one of my intersections.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, but anyway, the ones I've seen look fabulous, and it's really nice to see it being promoted so heavily.
Yeah.
And so the restaurants are doing specials now?
Well, we don't know.
Okay. That's
You know,
where we left it.
Yeah, I think the challenge last year with Restaurant Week was finding the right price point. And,
Right.
so this was an option for them to try to do something that they could really gear toward their customer base.
Can we say to the restaurants that if you choose to do it, we will promote it? We can put it on.
That has
Facebook.
been said.
And they're still not buying in?
Yeah, I mean, I think the challenge is getting people to read the emails that get sent. You know
Okay.
how it is. It's like anything
Okay.
else. Like you see it and
Yeah.
so I think the more people see this, the more it becomes familiar, the more they see Sandwich Board signs, then people start to
Okay.
recognize it, and, you know, each year it builds. Having this many events this year, I think will help in terms of just
Right.
visibility.
So are you intending to use the same template next year? So the art's not going to change, so we can actually, promote it throughout, start promoting it in July
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
June, so that, great.
Which is when we've started meeting, I think in spring of
Okay.
this past year was when we started meeting and trying to get things off the ground. And being that this is the first year we've done this,
Uh-huh.
this may take a year or two to get off the ground
Yeah.
and become familiar to people. But I think it's a great way to tie it in without people feeling compelled to have to do something very specific.
Yes.
I know the retail stores at 245 Amity are doing things next week. They're happy to have something that they can use, so.
Yeah.
It's out there and we're happy to send it along to people who didn't see it in the town email.
Great, and I think going forward, we can be the ambassador on this program, so that just through the year, if you're stopping into a business at any point, just, perhaps mention that this is something we do, and we'll remind them as it
get
gets
closer,
closer
sure.
to, that they can have this template to use. That would be great, thank you. The next item on the agenda is the meeting list for the Economic Development Commission, which will help we would like to have a motion to approve it, or first we can discuss it, because we have one date that we need to discuss. We generally will meet on the second Thursday of each month, but we will not meet in August or December, so we only meet 10 times. That being said, the July meeting's a light meeting, because it's more of an outreach and just sort of being out and about at the concert. There's one meeting I know definitely I will not be at, maybe perhaps two, but Jamie, we already consulted with each other, and he will be the acting chairman at that point in those meetings. For the July meeting, we just need to pick a date of one of the concerts. It will be a Tuesday night. The second Tuesday I felt was too close to July 4th. And I think I know it's a difficult time for me. I usually traveling at the beginning of the month because we have a factory that closes. I thought it would be better, maybe more people would be in town if it's towards the end of the month. But we can pick, I'm not looking at the calendar.
17th,
17th,
24th.
Yeah, 17th, 24th, and 31st. I would propose either the 24th or the 31st, but we can open it up to discussion.
It's fine.
Okay. Just look.
It's far enough in advance to plan around.
So,
I would just think the 17th or the 24th, so we don't go too close. Oh, there's nothing, so it doesn't matter actually.
right. My personal schedule works good with the 31st, but then let's do it the 31st.
That's good, because it's sort of in the middle then, so we don't feel like we're necessarily missing the whole month of August. Then.
Right,
So we're later in
right,
July, and
right.
then we're closer to September.
Okay. So that being said, can someone make a motion to approve this schedule with those two X's being July 31st for July?
Motion to approve the schedule for 2018.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Wonderful, thank you. I'm not sure if anybody had, we have the budget to address as well. So we've only had a budget for the past 3 or 4 years, just so for the new members of the commission. Before that, we were, actually, about 8 years ago, we converted from being committee to a commission. And then, so we operated for a number of years, which wasn't efficient. We didn't, as a committee, we were not subject to some of the same strictures that we are as a commission. And in about 3 years, and we operated out of the board, the first selectman's budget. And about 3 or 4 years ago, it was suggested we create our own budget. So we have always, in that time we've created our budget. We've always asked for what we thought was appropriate. We oftentimes did not receive it, but we still continued to ask. And as you can see, sometimes we have money in our budget that we don't spend. But I always feel it's better to give back money than to overspend, and to be prepared to have the money should we need it. So can I open the budget up to discussion? Anybody have it? Because we have to vote on this budget, the proposed budget, which will then go to the Board of Finance. I will then go to the Board of Finance meeting and advocate for us. Anybody else is welcome to join me to advocate for the budget. And then from the Board of Finance, I guess, proposes what our budget should be, and then it goes to the Board of Selectmen. So it's quite a process and takes a few months.
Just curious, I see that we asked for $2,500 for general professional services. What falls into that category? I know we weren't given.
I think they must have rolled. There used to be different labels. I think we were looking for a website development at that point, and so we've continued to ask. The town has really taken, because at one point we actually had our own money, had been given our money. I'm not sure if it was in budget, but we were given the website money to develop a website with a consultant. And so we continue to ask for it, but the town, the selectman's office, I think, has generally put that in their budget. That being said, if we were controlled our destiny a little more, I think we would have done some different things with the website. So we continue to try to strive for our own money to make a more dynamic website.
Will be a tough year for the budget.
Yes, no, I'm sure it will be a tough year for the budget, given the state. But that being said, so do you recommend that we try to pare it down, or they're going to pare it down for us?
I'm not familiar with everything enough, so no.
Okay.
I just know that it will be,
Yeah.
every department will be asked to
Right.
do something, so.
Right. So I think we can go in with the proposal and see. And we would like, this year we haven't had our big breakfast event, because we need to start brainstorming on that to see what it should be. We were sort of waiting for the zoning regs to come out, but since they're not out yet, maybe we should start thinking in a little bit different direction. But that being said, so can I have a motion to approve the budget? Or to approve the proposed, that I will co-advocate for this budget? Is there a specific motion you have?
No, I was just wondering if I may.
Sure, absolutely.
What we might want to do is look at what the objectives are for, look at our accomplishments for 17-18, and look at what your objectives that you might want to do for the next upcoming year, and then back into what you think you might need for your budget.
Okay.
Do you know, I mean, it's just a suggestion. I think some of those professional fees may have been if we thought we were going to do something to hand out to businesses. If we were going to get a brochure out to businesses when they come into town, or professional fees possibly for guest speakers and things of that nature as well. So again, I don't know.
Well, some of the professional fees also are that we have budgeted to be able to attend seminars. So when I went up to Hartford, I don't think I had to pay for that one, but we've all attended things. The people who've been on the commission or have attended things that we've had to pay for. So it was to allow us, in some respects, sometimes it's allow us to participate. So, I mean, I think it would take a lot of time to build our budget up from the ground up without knowing what those fees are and without having identified what those seminars we may want to attend.
Right, I agree, yes. Okay.
So,
So I'm really just a little confused on what we're actually, which one we're proposing.
Right, so this was last year's budget.
Right.
Right.
But are we looking to propose what we proposed in the department request in 17-18 for 18-19?
which is what we've done in the past.
So is that what we're?
Or do we just propose what we received last year and just start from there, knowing we're not going to get what we want anyway, and they've sort of set a track record of this is what this committee is going to be budgeted for, and given the cutbacks that Vega has highlighted, it's unlikely that we'll get money to actually develop the website the way that we want
If we
to.
go with what was adopted in 17-18 and hope for the same, knowing the financial situation, and if we have some sort of special event, do we not have an opportunity to go back and ask for money or a reallocation under this? You know, if it's printing and binding, but we want to attend something, can they shift funds? I don't know how that process works. I mean, I would hate to see us limited if there's some great opportunities out there. You know, we don't know what, you know, the 18-19 is going to present in terms of opportunities for us to attend events.
Right.
So I don't know if we can shift funds or if we
Actually,
split
no,
the
as I
difference.
look at the line item, I think I misspoke. There is $200 for,
Oh,
we have for
professional
professional
development.
conference. So the general professional services must have been for the website or for any other type of outside help that we would need.
I think
So-
in answer to your question, Jamie, there is opportunity to request consideration for additional funding for certain things throughout the year, but it is up to the Board of Finance and the Board of Selectmen. There's an opportunity, it's just what's available and what they feel.
But we're not, what we,
If our plan is to, it seems like for a while our plan has been to develop this guide for new businesses. It seems like based on the attachments that were included in this meeting's email,
Yeah.
looks like it's starting to get worked on. I mean,
right, yes.
whether or not we're given that $2,500, it might be nice to just ask for it, so at least we see the possibility of us being able to put together this brochure for new businesses. I mean,
Well, to Tony's point, you know,
Yeah.
that's on our list.
Right,
If we want
right.
to do it, we need some funds.
Right,
so I'm gonna say that we should
So
ask
maybe
for
we-
what you asked for.
maybe
last
we
year.
asked for what we asked for last, well, we're clearly living within our budget. So,
Yeah, I did hand out the
So there's-
expenses to date.
yeah,
I
that's-
forgot to bring the copy.
okay, yeah,
with me.
without that, it's kind of hard.
Do you want me to go run the?
Yeah, would you, because I thought this was.
Yeah, I meant to bring them, so sorry.
Okay, sure.
Jody, I didn't want to disclose anything else as one of us. But I think you should, based on your mission, you should do whatever you think it's going to
Right.
take to make yourself
Is
successful.
that it?
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, oh, okay, all right. I just don't see, it doesn't look like Tony's being charged to us.
Well, there's just that two.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, there is, yes, a fee expended, sorry, yes, okay. I think we need, what I see is missing, and maybe they rolled it in, is that we don't really have a budget for the breakfast here. They sort of, maybe they rolled it into printing and binding? Because we clearly have money, we just don't have it in the right category. Even if we wanted to have the breakfast now, we actually would have to go to the Board of Selectmen to get the money.
That's not meeting supplies.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't that covered?
Well, I think it took,
$600.
yeah, maybe, oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah, that would
Okay,
cover
yes,
a
okay,
breakfast.
yeah, it would cover the breakfast. So perhaps we use what our actual, the adopted budget is in all categories except for general professional services. So we can ask for money to create a brochure. Does that work?
So keep the printing and binding at the 15, but add in the 25, so we're still 1,500 less than last time.
Correct. We're asking for less because we're realizing that they have been correct and that we're not spending what we asked for. But allow us to have the opportunity to pursue that. No, does someone want to go get her?
How far did you get? Where did you get?
I'm not sure.
I don't know the corridors.
Uh,
Come back. You got it.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. In looking at the agenda, is there anything else you wanted to add?
I was going to just give an update on the interchange. They're doing 3 phases on that. Phase 1 is just a safety, some of which they've already started, as you see with the painting of the lanes and the right lane only, that type of thing. They're already leading to 59. Phase 2, which takes a little bit more of a construction view, where we're going to actually work on the interchange itself.
Do they have a construction date, start date?
No, I don't, to be honest. But that has been in very regular communications with them. She's participating. I think you have on the agenda here, there's a meeting in regard to the Heroes Tunnel, which is another piece of it. There's also some work being done with Circuit. I think Jamie has some information on that. But just in regard to some of the things that we're discussing, Beth is very much involved and committed to helping this commission in particular in any way we can to attract businesses and do what we can to increase our grant lists. So if there's ideas you have, please don't hesitate, through me, through her directly, however you want to do it. But we're hoping that this commission is going to play a much more significant role going forward, because it's priority. We have to do something along those lines, so it's very much priority. So, thank you.
So, if we can have a motion then to approve the budget for, I guess it's 18, 19? For the, using the numbers that we had last year. And the only difference is adding into,
You're referring to the adopted budget?
the actual adopted budget.
So, okay, so looking at the adopted budget, okay.
Okay, but in the second line, we would like to put back in the 2540? 2540 for general professional services.
So then you're looking at a total of the 8,000 wait a second, okay. So you're talking about 38.
Total would be like 6340.
No.
3,800 plus 30,
27, oh, 27, I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong category. I'm in the wrong category. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
3,800 plus the 2,540?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, 6,340, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what you're proposing. Okay.
Okay, anybody, do you have any more discussion on that, or is everybody comfortable with that as a proposal? So can I have a motion to approve the asked budget, I guess, of that amount? Okay.
Make a motion to approve the ask.
What?
Approve the ask.
Okay.
So, Jeremy, were you first? Did you motion first?
No,
Doesn't matter.
I think you're on.
You're
Oh,
on.
you're on, okay, I'm
And
sorry.
then I need a second.
I'll second.
And that's Jeremy.
Jeremy. And that's for the amount of 6,340 for your budget.
Right, and so the only difference between the budget we were granted last year and this year is we're again asking for the general professional services to be back in so that we can have some money to create a brochure or some sort of communication to give to new businesses so that, to help shepherd them through the process. All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Thank you. So moving along to item 6. I was unable to attend I don't know if, did anybody attend the webinar? Okay, and there's another upcoming webinar on the 25th, which is just the new, to me, I guess, to meet the new CEO of Connecticut Main Street. I continue to ask Tony to put these as they come in on the agenda, knowing that perhaps you'll attend, perhaps you won't attend, but at least we'll know that it's available for us should there be a topic of interest that comes up. With respect to the next item, item 7, I drafted, based upon our motion that we took last meeting about Jim Urbano's proposal for 18 Hazel Terrace, I drafted a letter. I don't think it was circulated to everybody. I know it was, Tony received a copy in support of the saying the EDC supported the proposal, with the caveat that we'd like to see the trailhead on the property. And I know Jim was quite pleased, and he presented it to TP&Z, which I think he thought it went well, and that it was.
I went.
Yeah. So can you report on it then?
Yeah, I mean the whole zoning meeting in general was pretty interesting. That was the first time I went to a zoning
Oh,
meeting.
really?
Here in Woodbridge. I thought it went well. I spoke, since I recused myself from the vote, I spoke on behalf of the Urbanos, just saying that I thought it would be good for the downtown district and good to feed businesses and another housing option for those who are downsizing. There was one local ownership group that spoke against it, saying that it wasn't good for Hazel Terrace in the first place, that it is more of a commercial street and should be used for residential.
Was that a resident or commercial property owner?
Commercial property owner.
Really? That's so
Because
interesting.
there are houses there.
And their houses who usually object when the
Yeah,
commercial comes in.
yeah.
So I think it was interesting
Yeah.
that you're
Yeah.
saying the commercial was objecting as residential is coming in.
Yeah. It was interesting. But I think the commission, it seemed like the zoning commission's biggest, they seemed to like the idea. It seemed to me that they liked the idea of it. I think they were concerned with the tower as it being called a tower, and they wanted to define the tower a little bit more, so there wasn't some giant booming thing piping up over the ridge there. But I mean, it seemed to be, I think they didn't vote on it in that meeting. I think they're going to reserve some time to define what a tower was,
Okay.
or what the tower will be for Woodbridge. But it seemed to go fairly well, I thought. I mean, I don't know what their end decision's going to be, but.
Then my understanding was Leslie Crane, who's the person who's actually designing the zoning regs, seemed to imply that it was consistent with the proposed zoning regs. So.
Yeah.
All good. Now if we could just get the TIF in place in time to
Yeah.
do some signage.
And the other things that went on in that meeting, there seems the folks that purchased a farm on Center Road. You know the little farm that if you're driving up from Blue Check
Yeah.
towards City Hall on the left-hand side.
opposite rugby.
Yeah, the folks that bought that farm put in a request to be able to put a farm stand.
Oh, wow. So the old house, the hitch, whatever it's called.
Yeah, where they sold manure and
Yeah,
wood chips and
okay.
stuff like that. So they want to put a farm stand that would actually sell flowers and stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay.
I think about doing a flower CSA. That was sort of neat. And then there was zoning, the topic was them wanting to put the doggy daycare that's been long looking for space in Woodbridge in the building next to animal control.
Okay. What is going on with the building? Because I paid attention to
It was in foreclosure. I don't know if
There's
someone
a
had bought it
building
or.
that's basically, they stripped it down to
Yes.
the brick. So it's studs.
136 Bradley, 131 Bradley?
It's when you go around past
It's the one
Central.
closest to the auction.
Yeah, it's
Was
one
that
closest to the.
across the-
animal
Yeah,
control,
where
yeah.
the-
Like all the windows
Architect
are out of
is-
it now. And
Yeah.
everything, so.
So someone, I think someone may have bought it and they're doing work on it. I don't know who bought it. I really
Okay.
don't.
Well, it looks like they're investing money, because they basically must be doing all these asbestos stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the doggy daycare is interested in going in there, but there had to be, I don't know, 20, 30 people that spoke against it that were related to the pound, basically, saying it would be, disturbing for the dogs at the pound and the rescue animals, having dogs going outside at night, 10 o'clock, those dogs are, sitting there sitting there waiting to be adopted, and, it puts them in a weird position, they ruin their beds and all kinds of stuff, so they thought it would be a bad neighbor.
So we have dogs, objectors to dogs too?
Speaking of half of the play.
And then the only other thing was Grimaldi's asked to be able to have entertainment at Grimaldi's.
And-
So I think they want to just expand their business a little more,
Oh, that's
add
great.
in some music. They're not going to be open very late.
And so that they need a zoning variance?
I think so. If you have a liquor license in this town, I think you need to get something added on to your
Okay.
use.
Okay,
Do
use permit,
entertainment.
so the permit, okay.
That's my take.
Wonderful. It would be nice if they come to us, I guess. And,
It would. It just
We
seems to
can
be
support-
so much,
we could support, we could talk about supporting them for
Sure.
entertainment if it's over by a certain
I mean,
hour.
there's so many things that us and zoning could,
Yeah.
weigh in together on.
Yeah.
I just don't.
No, I don't mean but if we know businesses that are gonna go, again,
Right.
we know businesses are gonna
Of
go
course.
before
Yeah, it makes
TPC.
sense for them to
In
come.
advance, we can ask them to come to us, so we can sort of,
And that would be a good note for the brochure.
yeah. So, wonderful. Thank you for attending on your behalf, and not on our behalf, but thank you for filling us in on our behalf.
I'd like to go to more than that.
So the next meeting, I guess, is November 6th. You can go to that too. if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually.
Let us know. Do you want to, next item is, do you want to update us on the open house?
Yeah, I thought it was really nice. I did attend the Realtors Open House, which was Monday, I think. It was a nice day. Kate gave a nice tour of the farm. There was probably about 16 or so residential realtors there. And they were, I did some nice networking after. They seemed happy that I was there. And Schaefer Inspection, I learned they do a lot more than homes, and there's statewide work. And so they're slated to attend our November meeting and join us here with
Jill and Bruce?
And Jill, right, Bruce and Jill will be here, on behalf of what their business does. So that was, a nice opportunity. I've met them before, but, being there for my DC hat on, we were talking about that, and they were interested in, one of their members who does the marketing for their organization. We chatted. I talked to some of the realtors as well, so it definitely seemed welcoming. I was there. I talked to Mika's wife as well, and she was happy that somebody from EDC was there, so it was a nice event.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for attending on our behalf. Moving, we're back to you, Jeremy. Actually, if I can say, the meeting, the Woodbridge event at not at Grimaldi's, at Antonio's was wonderful. Thank you for organizing it, the business happy hour. We've actually been instructed from the EDC that we're going to take those back. That it's now going to be, we're going to do the planning. And so it's getting late because we did budget, but maybe we'll put it on the agenda for next month. That it's nice to have the happy hour. It's also nice to have a little bit of an agenda too. Some sort of information, I think, to give to people. But at that meeting, we met the person who's taking the Red Barn, which was really kind of cool. They were going to put a spot in with some retail. And she was really excited to relocate there. And so I think we're going to try to get her to come before us as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was, there aren't, to my knowledge, there's not a lot of new businesses that came into Woodbridge in the last month, but and I don't know their actual name, to be honest with you. I know they're doing eyelash extensions and things of that nature. Other than them, the gathering's changed hands, and now it's called Las Brasas.
Really?
And it looks
That's
like it's
Hispanic?
going to be Hispanic, Mexican breakfast and lunch.
But why only breakfast and lunch?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't been in there yet. I just saw the sign.
No, it's always been breakfast and lunch. I'm wondering why.
Yeah, I don't know.
They just didn't want the competition.
Where is it?
It's right on Lucy. Is that, no, it's not Lucy. Yeah, Lucy Street.
Right opposite the car dealership.
Yeah, the street from Anthony Me on Office Road.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to go and try it. I mean, maybe they're trying out the early hours until they can, and I don't know if they have I don't know if you have a license from BYOB, but I don't know for dinner. They obviously don't have a liquor license.
Oh, okay.
there,
So maybe that's,
yeah, it could be one of them.
Well, the parking lot's been busy since they've been
Okay.
open, so
Okay.
hopefully that's a good time.
great.
Yeah.
I'll have to try it.
But this month's been sort of nuts, but I do want to try to speak with Mika a little bit more and try to develop some sort of ongoing categorized database that'll allow us to know, what is vacant and with the contacts for various property owners. It's a big endeavor, but I'd like
Yeah,
to get going on it, and
So,
it's been a pretty good time.
you may want to talk to Betsy Nolan, who's a tax person,
Okay.
because she has the database.
Okay.
So she'll probably know what is, I'm not sure how flexible the information is, and Yarrow could probably help you more with that, actually. If it's all, if you can manipulate it at all.
Yeah.
So,
Jeremy, on a project I was doing for work, we actually just developed a platform for showing dealer networks that's all GIS web-based stuff that I could probably leverage if we wanted to actually make a list of all these places into a web thing for
I could
us.
just click onto it and it would take you on the map to that location. That'd be neat.
Yeah,
So maybe
so we could-
one,
Yeah.
so maybe one of you guys with more technical skill can talk with Betsy and see what form that data is, if it's something, maybe,
Yeah,
if you have- maybe-
you can contact info, I
Yeah.
can reach out to them and see.
can you forward, forget it, I'll get it.
Okay.
So, is it Betsy Nolan?
Quist.
Quist,
That's
okay.
It's from the assessor.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think it's,
Betsy Quist.
okay, so it's Bessie Quist,
Okay,
she's
sure.
the assessor,
Okay.
and she's in charge of the database, I believe, for taxes in town, so you can call Tony.
Yeah,
and
she
she'll put
creates
you
the
through.
grand list.
Huh? Yeah,
She
Great.
creates the grand list.
I'll take it and I'll email you, Jane.
okay,
Great.
that would be great. Make sure you CC
Yeah.
Tony on the email,
Sure.
so it stays within the town FOIA,
Because the,
because of FOIA, and then we can just, don't have a bigger discussion, we can discuss it
sure.
at the meeting.
Yeah, I'll take a look at the data and then I can say something more meaningful once I see what it looks like.
Okay, that would be great, thank you so much for taking that on. With respect to new businesses while we're on, the new bakery, I was pleased to see,
They're doing really well.
it's advertising. I mean, they
Yeah.
had a coupon.
Yeah, they keep on paper.
They had a coupon, it was like in a mail, one of the mailers.
You mean the mailers that come every Friday or something like that?
I don't know if they come every Friday, but I was usually,
Yeah, they showed me it.
yeah, no, I thought it was
Yeah.
great. I thought it was,
It's they're doing. There's a lot of word of mouth just coming from them. Like every other day, I see on the Woodward Bethany residents forum someone else saying something good about the bakery and how they went and they're referring it, and their stuff's good.
I'm surprised it's
Jim,
not
did you speak to
open
them about
early,
coming in
though.
here again
what time do they have?
They don't open
Until
until
7, I think, right?
in the morning?
Oh, that late?
In the morning?
I was
really late.
Yeah.
Maybe they
Sure.
changed it when I went by after the last meeting.
Yeah.
On the way
Was it a
south.
weekend or a weekday?
I went both on a weekend and a weekday,
Oh.
both days. I thought it was 8, which,
I thought they were
I
open early.
definitely talked to her, I followed up with the email,
Oh,
and I never heard back, so.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well,
they're so busy.
Yeah, well,
it's good, they
No,
don't need us. Wonderful. Let's see, so we already discussed the HERO project. Tunnel, Mika gave us the update. If anybody wants to attend the meeting, the next meeting where Beth Heller will most certainly be, and last time Stephanie Sigillaro was there with her, is on October 18th at 6:30. I don't have the day of the week, but I think it's Monday, or maybe not. What?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Same
thank
night
you,
as the
thank
Northern
you.
Highlands.
Thank you. Okay, so it's Wednesday. Perfect, thank you. If anybody's able to attend. But I mean, it's actually an interesting meeting to attend if you're interested in traffic, because you get a general sense of what they're doing and what we're up against. But anyway. Jamie, do you want to talk about CERC training?
Sure, I said send some stuff over to the First Selectman's office about the CERC municipal training. Out of that, Sheila had replied back. They met with CERC last Friday, First Selectman, and Sheila had met with CERC, Bob Santee, and somebody else from CERC came down and met with them. So Sheila had just sent me a note that it was definitely seemed like it was a positive meeting. Beth apparently reported on it last night as well. That they're hoping to move ahead, but I'm not sure in what direction exactly. So they said that they should have something for us by our November meeting, so then we'll know what direction that CERC will be able to help the community with EDC. The other meeting I attended, not on behalf of EDC, but in another volunteer role, was with Rex and the COG over in North Haven and SEDS, and they're working on. I think I email you that. I
No.
emailed you. Did I? I thought I sent it.
Just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
something
yeah,
to
Right,
do.
okay,
Okay,
so
it is.
that's on the SEDS, and so that's a comprehensive economic development strategy for the region, and that will be, they will be coming out and meeting with all the various EDCs in January and February. So we want to make sure we keep a slot available in our
Okay.
January, February
Okay.
meeting. It's a little far out, but
No, we
I
can.
just
we
want to
can
make
schedule it.
sure
Yeah.
that, I let you
So
know.
will they contact you, or they're going to?
No, they knew, this is Ginny.
Ginny. Oh, she'll contact
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
she said she knew you, she
Yes,
reached out to you.
absolutely,
I just
yes,
wanted to
yeah,
make sure
okay.
that,
Right.
that information was
Right,
relayed.
Wonderful.
Says we'll be, beginning of the year, we'll be hearing more on that.
Great. Actually, I saw something, and it may have been Naugatuck or Prospect, took advantage of, I think, CERC to, it looked like they did a similar, had CERC do a similar plan to what we had done with Yale. And they just brought a manufacturing business in. They actually had someone look at their zoning regs, and to try to streamline it, and they just were able to bring a plant in. And I can't recall what the manufacturer is, but so we should try to figure out ways to use these resources which are available and funded by
Hopefully we'll have more
others.
report in November.
Great. And moving on to the next item, we've already discussed the tax incremental financing. So I'm hopeful that I will report back next month about my meeting with Tony Genovese, and my goal to make sure, I'll be on him to make sure we can meet before that. Because it would be nice to have those, some pocket of money as improvements are made to properties to do the things that we know need to be done to enhance the business district.
Have they kind of fleshed out what the the algorithm how that would work? Just setting aside what percentage of the
No. I mean, I literally.
or kind of model, like maybe look at past tax receipts and seeing if you've done this, what it would look like.
All good questions. I have not had the meeting with him.
Is it a bread box or a barn size?
Well, I think, for a property, perhaps like using the example of 18 Hazel Terrace, that's undeveloped land, I think it can be a larger.
Okay.
It's larger because the tax goes from undeveloped land to developed land. So if we take a portion, it can be a big portion because the town will still be getting good new revenue from it. If it's simply an improvement, I imagine it's going to be smaller because then you're only talking about the incremental increase in taxes of the improvement. But these are all things that we need to discuss and we need to advocate because as the state goes through its budget crisis, continually on day 103, I think right now, the town's going to be squeezed. All the towns are squeezed, and the cities are squeezed, and so everybody's looking at the same little pot of money.
Right.
So we have to advocate, which is what I really believe, that by taking the money and investing it, because we're talking about investing it to create a more hospitable environment for more increased property value,
Right.
as opposed to just spending it on something that is spent and it goes away. So it's really the difference between investment and just
Consumption.
Consumption, yes,
Which
exactly.
has to be funded year after year.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm not sure. I mean, I think, I imagine it'll come before the Board of Selectmen, and I imagine we'll all need to go to that meeting. Because I think we will have to really say, often I go to Board of Selectmen and I'm not concerned, and I don't think we're gonna have an issue, and so I don't need full support of the board. of this commission, but I would think at that meeting, when that eventually comes up, we'll need full support of the board, of our commission, to say this is really what we think needs to happen. Or we're unanimous, you know, hopefully we'll be unanimous on it, because we're gonna get pushback. I can tell you right now.
What's the timing of that?
There's no timing, because I just presented it.
Okay.
So I'm the one driving it.
Okay.
The town was not even aware of it. I had raised it under the past administration, and because of the change in administration, it didn't fly. And I actually really, you know, was going to send an email, let me do research on it, and found a great article about it, and sent it off to Tony and said, you know, these are the reasons why we need to meet.
Right.
So we're actually driving this car right now. The town is, oftentimes the town will put things on us to do, but I'm saying, and that this is what we need to be doing, and I'm proposing it to the
So then
town.
we'll have to, probably be best if we fleshed out what those numbers would look like, and
I think, well,
just to be, rather than talk about it in the abstract, you could even.
right, well, I'll talk about it with Tony and see how he wants to
Yeah.
put it. I mean, he's the finance guy, he's the finance director, so I'm not sure he's gonna trust our numbers. You know, I think there's, you know, yes, we can all do a little spreadsheet, but at the end of the day, he's gonna need to verify the numbers, so I
Sure.
think he'll wanna take possession of the numbers and have it be the
Right,
numbers.
but I was just thinking it might be helpful if we could take a look at like maybe a snapshot of a last year where all the numbers are already there. And
Yeah, I
say,
think
if we had done it this way instead, this is what it would have looked like.
Right, we don't have the
Put that in
data
the
right now.
buckets.
We don't have the data right now.
Right.
And we also don't, I mean, we hopefully are gonna have new zoning. And
Yeah.
so we hope, I mean, based upon what's taking place in Hampton along Whitney Avenue, which happened after Leslie Crane, who's doing our zoning, new zoning rules, rewrote their zoning rules. They're seeing a tremendous amount of new development, all consistent with what needs to happen there. So I'm hopeful that we will see similar things. So
Right.
it's not like there's been that much new development that we can actually, has there been any
No,
new construction? So
not since 245.
yeah, so there's really not data. If we want to go after the new development money, and even the
Right.
improvements, we can look at when we were obviously getting new property taxes on the trailers, but
Right.
I'm not sure we can actually analyze it as much as we want to analyze it financially. Because we just don't have there's nothing that I know. But,
Okay.
anyway, moving along. I had sent out, we'd sent out as an attachment, Evan had created a list of business resources that he felt would be helpful, just to put on our webpage. I went through most of them and I thought they were actually quite good. So I wanted to open it to discussion, unfortunately he's not here, to see if anybody had any objection before we posted those little links on our webpage. And if anybody had any
A
thoughts.
lot of the ones we had.
We lost most of them.
The circ stuff's not there.
Yeah.
You know, that's listing, but I was wondering about, you know, is this procedural guide related, or is this, you know, somebody who's interested in opening a business or interested in business, what are we trying to serve with this section here, the promoting part? We want the certain stuff, I guess is what I'm saying, or the right stuff.
Well, I think just to be a resource. So there's two different goals. One, I know for our business, we just applied for some of the state grants. Had I been on the Woodbridge Economic Development page, if I could have linked through, it would have been nice to link through to see it all outlined. Instead, I had to sort of search haphazardly and not really know if I was getting to all the proper websites. So if we were able to provide, these are the websites you should be searching, I think it would be really helpful. Because I still don't know if I searched all the ones that I needed to.
Because we used to have all that on
Yeah.
our webpage and somehow it disappeared. I'm not sure why.
Well, I think when
Lost all that.
they changed over from whatever the other company was to this company, they wanted everything to be uniform.
What was there that's not there now? Like Cirque's link?
That sort of stuff, the additional.
Site
Do you
finder
have
and stuff like
do you
that.
have the by any chance do you have the saved like a
I'll have to
saved
go
page?
back and look and see, because and that's why I wasn't sure,
Right.
you know, what you wanted, or what the vision was of that part of it. Because I know we had put a lot of those additional resources there.
Well, this is certainly not an exhaustive list, so we can start with this and then add
Sure.
to it. To the extent we see that we're missing out some other websites. Good.
Was it Woodbridge? What's the old Woodbridge website you used to have?
So we had developed our own website for Woodbridge Economic Development. We had all these grandiose ideas where we were going to have, be able to click on a business and click through, and with an interactive map, and we had some funding for it. And then the town decided to redo their website, and they decided to put it, not to enter into a contract for us to develop the website, but they wanted, the company said they do it as an add-on. And so we ended up with that template, and we ended up being a back page. And we ended up not really having this grandiose website that we wanted to. On the other hand, I think the technology sort of moved past, because it used to be, now Google's so effective that you really can Google so many things, whereas before you actually had to go to a specific website to go through all this. I think it would still be nice to have an interactive map on the website so that people could actually see what the relation is where the restaurants were, but I don't know that we have.
They are there, they're just on the side, that's what happened.
Okay.
It was redone, so I apologize for that, but it's also hard to find. I mean,
So maybe we need to move it to the front page?
put it both places.
Okay.
Because the website's a little bit more, it's different functionality
Yeah.
than I think, people who are used to looking for stuff. Because the education stuff, so you click on that and then you lose what you had. And
Mhm.
Navigation's complicated.
Thank you.
Parents had.
Thank you.
I was looking for the videos for a long time before I realized that they weren't there, but
We're still working on that.
Navigation is difficult.
I did present that to First Selectman's office, and so I'm hopeful we will get links to the videos of these meetings. And they're thinking about it for not just us, but for all the patients.
And I do that in the letter that I send all the businesses, just so you know, I put the link right in there because it's too hard to find the link. But if it's
Yeah.
there, then at least they can find it and see what the meetings are like.
So, should we have a motion to add the list that Evan proposed? Do we want to wait for Evan to come back and present? Do we want to,
Why don't we just do it?
okay,
Just do
great.
it.
Fine.
The only one that I thought was that we may want to move the capital for a change to the others, because the helpful links are all business are all government links.
Okay,
And Capital for Change is a great organization, but
Okay.
that and CPACE and CT Innovations, those are all kind of public-private partnerships.
so you were saying move those up?
I'm just saying, no, I'm saying move Capital for Change down.
Okay.
See, that's the other list, though, that's where I was confused.
I forget what it's called. Should we add that now? Was it Naugatuck Valley Health?
Oh, Quinnipiac Valley
Not
Health.
Quinnipiac Health. Shouldn't-
Yeah, we
isn't
should
that part of
probably
this?
add that too. That's a good point. Because any restaurant will have to go.
Yeah.
And any
Should be a link
developer will
that's
have
on
to
there. I
go if
forget
they
what the
want to do
link
any
is,
septic,
but-
what?
I forget what the link is, but
QVC.
HD.
Okay, there you go.
I just think it might be helpful to separate the lists into ones that are governmental
Okay,
and then ones that are
Okay.
kind of public-private
okay.
partnerships. I mean, I know CT Innovations because we're one of their companies,
Uh-huh.
but there are a lot of places like that. I just think it might be helpful to separate the two out.
But that's the list, that's part of the list that should be added to these.
Right.
That's where,
Exactly.
I think that list needs to be added to agenda item 14. Basically,
We just need to merge them all.
the items from 15
Mhm.
has a bunch of great links, but they're not part of agenda item 14.
Okay.
That's our.
So maybe we do that, maybe we ask Evan to.
So
go back
why don't
and
we
merge
not,
all the
let's
lists
hold
together.
off and let's not make double work. Let's revisit it and make sure we have it the way we want it to be before. Do you want to take a stab at organizing it?
I'll ask him tomorrow
Okay.
morning at the bus stops.
Oh, you take a bus stop?
We live next door, pretty much.
Oh, at the
Next door
school
to
bus, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's school
Okay,
bus stop.
okay, okay. So yes, if you guys could work on that and create, organized list that we're all comfortable with, and then we could just hand it over and not, I think, yeah, we don't want to have to go back to them again. So, wonderful, thank you. So we sort of combined 14 and 15, I think. And then moving along, our next meeting is Thursday, November 9th at 7 p.m.
Can I ask you a question? Excuse me, Shorty. Did we comment anything on item 13, or did we skip that, or was there nothing new to report on 13?
Oh, wayside, that's you, sorry. Wayfinding?
The only thing I heard from the First Selectman's office is that Sheila had mentioned sometime over summer that they were looking to put a new sign up someplace. And I said, let's just make sure that we're following the new guidelines. I did meet with the First Selectman's office over the summer, so maybe that's when I heard about it, just to make sure that they were aware of the plan and to make sure it gets circulated, because what I wanted to do is make sure that the various commissions or the various boards or departments in town, it's not just new signage, but if we're replacing signs, at least be aware of this and follow the wayfinding, so that if a sign gets damaged or a sign's being replaced, Parks and Rec, that everybody knows about this. And so it's not necessarily new money for new signs, but if we're replacing something, let's follow what we have in the guidelines. You could just Google wayfinding on the website and see the proposed signs for those who haven't seen it, but at least then we can start with improving the wayfinding.
Is there a font that was approved?
It's all, everything.
Yeah, the font is there as well?
Everything is
Okay,
there.
great.
So they were looking to put a new sign someplace over in the cornfields, and so why not at least follow the new wayfinding, because there's small signs, there's big signs. It meets pretty much all the different needs throughout the community. So I haven't seen anything active in terms of that, but at least the plan's out there. Hopefully when they put these signs up, they'll be using and following that.
That'll be great. And maybe when Mika's here next month, we can, we'll move the, in case he has to leave early, can we move the wayfind, that, I can't even say the word, the signage item up in the agenda, so that Jamie can have that discussion with him, so that we can make sure that he's advocating for consistent signage at the Board of Selectmen level. It looks like we have no public here to comment. So at 8:44.
Can I just, real quick, I just wanted to thank everybody for their support last month, because I wasn't here, so you had the election for the vice chair, so I just wanted to thank everybody for their support.
Pleasure to serve with you again. A motion to adjourn the meeting, please? Okay, second? I'm seconding. All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you, everybody.